If you're an HSP, a highly sensitive person, you will know all too well what overwhelm and anxiety feels like. So what's the key to managing it? You guessed it, it's boundaries. Now, there was a time in my life where I would say yes to everyone and everything. I drained myself out of fear of letting others down. I'd run around like a headless chicken for everyone, from my family, my friends, my partner, my work. Everyone needed something of me. And at work, I carried on accepting more and more responsibility, and I'd say yes to everything and just accepted it and moved on. Until I realized that it actually made me feel completely worthless. I wasn't standing up for myself. I wasn't claiming my space, my time, my energy, or my financial worth. And change for me personally truly began the moment when I realized that it would make me more miserable if I were to not speak up for myself than it would be if I were to be judged by others for speaking up for myself. So that's when I started speaking up with courage and with fearlessness. A couple months ago, an old colleague of mine said to me, "I admire you so much for how far you've come and the way you suddenly started speaking up and claiming your worth. I wish I could be like you." Now, if you find yourself saying, "I wish I could be like that," that's your self-talk right there that's holding you back right now. Not only can you be brave and fearless, but it's already there. It's within you. We were all born fearless. We never judged ourselves for falling over when we were learning to walk as kids. We kept trying, and we realized that we'd have to stumble a few times first to get there. So all of this negative self-talk that's limiting you and holding you back right now, that was all learned. It was learned because you figured out at some point in your life that you needed to cope through challenging situations and you needed to survive. You learned it because others projected it onto you. They projected their trauma or their insecurities onto you. And you learned it because you probably compared yourself to others instead of valuing yourself for your abilities and your differences and everything that you are. And I'm not going to lie to you, speaking up is freaking scary, especially at first, and especially for us highly sensitive people. And sometimes it still is for me. It's not always going to feel comfortable. And this is why it takes courage. But what drives that courage is the realization that we were worse off carrying on without those boundaries than we are in feeling the discomfort of speaking up for our worth or our self-respect. In the end, a lesson that I personally learned through all of this was that many people actually will often respect you more when they see you respecting yourself and speaking up for yourself. And as for the rest, as for those who cast judgment or call you selfish for it, that's simply their projection of their own trauma onto you. And it's their role and their responsibility to heal that for themselves. I challenge you this week to take one tiny step towards this. Speak up for yourself, whether it's at work or at home or wherever you usually find it challenging to do so. And it's okay to start small, or it's okay to start in a place that feels maybe a little bit less scary at first if you're not used to this. Maybe it's telling a friend that you're too tired to go out. Or maybe it's telling your partner that you'd rather go to a different place than the restaurant that they picked. As long as it's a start, as long as it's a tiny little start, that's all that really matters. So let me know in the comments below what you'll be speaking up for this week.